Can you guys hear me? All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Really a pleasure to be here. I'm going to be talking about customer experience. We've been talking about customer experience for the last 3 years. Feels like we keep talking about it. What I want to do is talk about where we are today, the case for change. I'll go through that pretty fast, but I also want to talk about what are the barriers. What are our employees saying? What are our customers saying? What's keeping us from being customer-centric? So that's really my focus. If I have to net it out, there are a lot of things that we're doing incrementally to improve our customer experience, but we're moving very slowly. So there's one message that I have for all of you at the end of the presentation. There needs to be a sense of urgency and speed towards customer experience. That's what's lacking. I think everybody wants to do the right thing. Nobody's arguing, right? Yesterday, one of the top leadership competencies, when Greg was up over here, we talked about customer experience is the #1 leadership competency we want. So if I leave you with just one message, it is act with a sense of urgency and speed in how we transform ourselves. So that will be the main thing. So let's get into the deck. So I'll talk about the case for change, our progress, the barriers, and kind of the next steps. So if we look at what we have done as a company, we're a product-centric company, right? Make no bones about it, right? This is what we are. And it's done well for us, guys, right? I mean, we look at the awards that we're getting, the best laptop magazine, the 25th anniversary that we just celebrated with ThinkPad, the awards that our yoga products get, the Motorola products get, right? Across the company, we're known as a product company. We've got a fantastic portfolio, right? We are on the Interbrand Global 500. Yesterday, YY talked about the Forbes, the top 30 in terms of respected companies, Fortune 500. So as a product-centric company, we have done well, right? We've got some great brands overall. But what we have to realize is our customers are changing, right? Their needs are changing, and we have to change overall. This is, an interesting stat. 1958, average company in the Fortune 500 was 61 years. In 2017, it's 15 years. So as YY talked about, we want to be a company that's respected, well-known, and is around. Do we want to be around in the next 15 years or next 20 years? Is Lenovo going to be on the Fortune 500 or not? Today we are. We're in the top 230, right? In order to do that, we have to transform because the landscape is changing. This country itself has changed over the last 30 years. The city of Shenzhen has changed itself and formulated itself. There's a litany of companies, right? Whether it's Blockbuster or Kodak or Yellow, we'll see what happens with Office Depot and Staples, right? But you get the idea, right? Companies are transforming, new entrants are coming in and they're taking over existing companies. Some of you got the inside joke. So customers need to evolve, right? And you feel like people had a lot of time on their hands, right? 10 years ago, customers were willing to wait for days. They were patient. They were willing to go self-service. This is the now generation. Their attitudes have changed. Customers are impatient, demanding. They want things now. In fact, I love this quote from Joe Baker. I think he's based in Europe, met him in Madrid, right? In a world where staff, this is our enterprise customer. This is one of Krista Theismann's REL accounts. In a world where staff are used to Amazon Prime next day delivery, they don't care why it takes 3 weeks to deliver a new CTO PC. Only that as a consumer, should they go to a website configures, it needs to get there 2 to 3 days. So it's not just the consumer who wants it. Even our commercial customers expect their mind frame of delivery is Amazon Prime. That's the standard that everything that they look at. Amazon Prime, 2 days, 3 days is what is what they expect. So the question is, can we adapt to this changing times? Of course we can. We're Lenovo, right? If there's any company that can do it, it's us. We've gone through transformations multiple times overall. So the question is, how do we evolve our thinking from product-centric to customer-centric? It really boils down to the stuff at the bottom. Focus less on what we can deliver and focus more on what our customers want. I mean, I'll give you a simple example. Even the KPIs that we set, right? This year, this is the first time where we set the KPIs. We went to all the functional teams, and everybody said, here's where I am. Well, for my budget, I'll go here. For my aspiration, I'll go over here. Right? But are those the right targets? Are those the targets that our customers would set? And I would say no. Right? So as we set our KPIs for next year, start thinking about what would our customers expect from us? What should the delivery be? What should the service be? What should the quality be? We need to look at it from their lens overall. So if I look at, and as Greg talked about yesterday, transformations are hard, right? This is a quote from a book, Change or Die, right? People hate change. 1 in 9 people will change their diet and exercise routines even after being told that they could prolong their life, reverse diabetes, restore their health. In other words, people want change literally to save their lives. That's how hard it is. Right? And we're talking about 51,000 people, right? How are we going to transform ourselves? Change is not easy, right? So let's start with the positives, right? I don't want to be the Debbie Downer here. We've made a lot of progress, right? We have made progress. So if you look at what have we done so far? We have established CX components in our bonus plans. We all have that, right? Check. Everyone has CX KPIs? Check. We've established segment organizations to look at how we approach customers end-to-end. Check. Compulsory customer contact for all the executives. All the executives in the company, they have that as a KPI. We have now centralized CX leadership with me driving it. And then we have focal time. I mean, the fact that we're spending a whole day just on customer experience, it's great that we're doing that. And we just launched the mandatory CX training for all our employees, 30-minute training. Everybody should have received it, right? So it's a good start. But it's just a start. It's a step. It's a small step in just the beginning. Now, we have established a framework for success. Is this perfect? No. Right? Could it get better? Absolutely. But it starts with, again, with the customer, right? If the customer's looking at us and he's saying, does Lenovo know me? Are they truly listening to me? Are they designing for me? Are they responding to me? And are they engaging with me? So everything that we're doing should start with those 5 things. Right? In the center, we have customers, and we're measuring our NPS, we're measuring our CX KPIs to the customer. But basically, every program that we do should be with these lenses in mind. So if I look at some of the best practices that we're doing across the company, the MBG team is doing some fantastic practices. They have a NPS survey within 30 days. Within 30 days, they immediately get feedback. What are customers saying about our phones? And in fact, part of my job is taking some of the best practices at MBG, at DCG, at PCSA, and how do we cross-share some of the best practices across the company. So just the fact that MBG was doing the 30-day NPS, I basically said, look, on PCSD, we need to do the same thing. Let's be consistent. Let's adopt that best practice. Designing for our customers, iterative, constant UI, UX testing that they're doing. They're creating specific campaigns in terms of engaging for customers with promoters, detractors. If I look at DCG, and Kurt talked about a lot of these yesterday, text analytics tools, before things fail, we want to go respond to them. Listening to our customers, 450 global accounts, and is assigned executive sponsors for each and every one of them. Could we go replicate that at PCSD? Engaging with customers, engineer ride-alongs, how cool is that? To really journey map what are their issues and find out. So really some cool practices across DCG. In PCSD, responding to customers. So we now have a new software as a service tool to close the loop with customers. Designing for our customers. So you heard Gianfranco talk about yesterday with the work that Ajit's doing on .com and how we've improved because we've focused on it. We've seen NPS results go from 10 to 35 in North America. Engaging with our customers, social engagement. So the Mirage platform in North America, how we went out and go engage. So again, there are pockets of great practices. How do we adopt and share some of those practices? This is something I want everyone to remember, right? It costs 5 times, and I think intellectually we all get it. It costs 5 times as much as to acquire new customers than it is to retain an existing one. Yet our retention rate is only 10%. Right? So what are we going to do about it, right? How do we keep them? How do we retain them for life? How do we have a customer's lifetime values? We can't. Success for me, long term, a year or 2 years from now, we don't talk about CA, we don't talk about revenue. We talk about customers gained, customers lost. Right? And customers, revenue per customer, right? That's how we need to be measuring ourselves. So for the pilot that we just launched in terms of how we close the loop, so if a customer gives us a negative review, are we closing the loop? Today we're doing it less than 30% of the time. And it's painful because it exists in Excel spreadsheets. right? In terms of how customers gave us the feedback, and by the time the sales guy gets the information, it can take weeks to respond. So we've instituted this new tool. We're doing a pilot with PCSD and DCG jointly together, and these 4 areas: global accounts, relationship and channel accounts in North America, Germany, China, India, tech service in North America, customer care. 5,000 results, 5,000 survey results, and the results have been extremely positive. All the geos have come back and said, we want to spread this across multiple countries, right? We've closed 93% of the alerts. Reduction in response time to hours versus weeks. So instead of stuff staying in Excel spreadsheets, now it's real time. I can pull up my phone, or any of you can pull out your phone and see what customers are saying real time, and they're giving us an NPS rating real time, right, on a scale of 1 to 10. And then account actions and plans designed to better service the customer, and teams have already started to do this. We've identified opportunities to upsell, cross-sell, identify at-risk customers. We've seen a 17-point improvement in NPS scores, 8% improvement in first-time resolution. So across the board, we've seen some good results. In fact, the last one, we have learned that just because a PC is broken, replacing a broken PC does not lead to high satisfaction and loyalty. Did you know, this number is going to shock you, we spent $50 million in replacing systems because we didn't have parts available. That's a big number, guys. Right, now we're going to go reduce it down to 25 and down further, because just the fact that we didn't have parts available within a certain lead time, the way our contracts are written and so on, we would ship out new systems to our retail partners because we didn't have parts available. Right? It doesn't make any sense at all, right? So we're learning a lot from this pilot that we have. In fact, I want to play a little demo for you here. Can we play the short video? So this is a customer. You can see real time what the NPS ratings are: 7, 7, 6, 10, right? And then John Montgomery, he gave us a 0 rating. This is as of last week, right? And this is his real time comments. If I'm the sales guy, sales manager, I immediately get the account. I see what his scores are, what is he complaining about, and I can immediately send out an email saying, hey, I received your response, I'm sorry, I'll contact you back. Also, the sales manager can see all his guys, he can rank all his sales guys and see what their ratings are, right? And he can see basically who are the top sales guys in terms of getting highest NPS scores versus lowest NPS scores. So soon, everybody at Lenovo will have access, right? So you can do this by tech support center. I can measure the 100 or 200 tech support center. I can see which of my contact center agents have the highest customer sat, which ones are the lowest. And then what do we need to do, right, to be able to address it? In the India call center, as an example, what we found out was a lot of them lacked simple training. They didn't know how to respond to some of the customer complaints. All it required was basically simple training. So now, immediately when a customer is dissatisfied, I get an alert on my phone or my laptop or anybody. And by the way, I want to open this software tool up for all Lenovo employees. Right? We could technically open this up. Now, we don't want them to respond, but if they just want to view what customers are saying about our products, where they're satisfied, where they're not satisfied, they can see this real time. Sales managers can see all their entire teams. Tech support managers can see all the tech support folks, right? So the power is in the information. The power is now closing the loop within hours versus weeks, right? So it's really transformed how we go do business. The other thing, KPI scores, right? So we just launched a dashboard last night. An email went out to everybody at Lenovo that basically says how we're doing against our CX KPIs. And we don't show any real results to all the employees. It's either you're below target, on target, or above target. That's what they see. This is an example of an executive dashboard where we'll have real data. So all of you will get access to this dashboard. We're finalizing, fine-tuning some stuff. So thanks to Art and team for helping us put this together, right? So we'll be sharing this with all of you going forward. And you can do this by geo, you can do this by BU segment in terms of where we are. But the question again I ask all of you is, are these truly customer-centric targets? Right, and I'd say in some cases truly they aren't. Right, we're basically trying to hit our KPIs. Right, we're basically numbers-driven, operationally centric. So next year, 2018 comes around. I ask each and every one of you to look at your KPIs as we set our 2018 targets. Are these truly what the customer would expect from us? Right, so we now have dashboards. We have a software as a service tool available. What is stopping us from being customer-centric? So those are some of the good practices so far that we have, right? We've done some good stuff, right? And the question I basically say is, we're still not getting the fundamentals right. Right? The basics right. Is it too much for our customers to ask that we have parts available for repairs? I can tell you, right, through the middle of the year, right, our parts availability on our most halo product at 50%, and customers were going to our competition. And I have notes saying, hey, you don't have parts, I'm buying from HP and Dell. At least they have parts. We're losing customers because we don't have parts. Now, I can tell you, we fixed it. GA has fixed it. We're at 90%. We have still a little bit of room to go. But we can't let this happen. This is how you lose customers. They love our products, but how we service them, we're not doing a good job. So is it too much to ask that our customers get parts available for repair? Somebody should be paid. Somebody's KPI should be that we have parts available when our customers ask for it. But right now what's happening is we're acting in silos. Somebody's got a cost metric KPI that they're looking at, so they hit their cost KPI metric because their parts inventory is low, but the customers are getting screwed and we're losing millions of dollars of deals because we don't have parts available, right? Is it too much to ask that our products are delivered when promised? Right now, 66, if I look at the KPI dashboard, it's 66%, right? At least on PCSD, we're not promising, we're promising a date to our customers and we're only keeping it 66% of the time. A third of our customers are not getting products when we ask them to go deliver. Now we've got plans in place to get that to 85. We'll go do that. Guanwei and team are working on that, but still we're not there yet. Our communication is clear, transparent, and timely. We're terrible at communicating. I can number of instances, even when parts are available, we don't communicate to our customers, right? We need to do that. Get a simple product quote in 30 minutes, and Kurt talked about this yesterday. The problems are fixed the first time they contact us, right? To get a response where they alert us to a concern. Repair technician. Yeah, obviously the answer is not. But these are simple fundamentals. We need to treat our customers as humans. Treat them like how we would want to be treated. And today we're not treating them like we should be treating them. So I want to play you an audio clip, and there's actually a transcript on each of you have a transcript of what this customer went through. And I have dozens of these examples, right? And you guys, with the homework that you've done, you all have come back and shared with me how eye-opening it's been as you've talked to customers and employees, right, in terms of what's keeping us from being customer-centric. So let's play that audio clip.
Thank you for calling Lenovo. This is Marla. How can I help you?
Hey Marla, this is Paige Laundry. We had spoken yesterday about my son's laptop.
Yes, ma'am, we did.
And I was just checking back to see if you had found out anything.
Right, so the answer that I found out is that as of now, it is still 8/31 for the estimated ship date, but they're trying to determine why, and that is really the final date. But as of this moment, the estimated ship date has been changed to August 31st.
Okay, so when will they know that? Because I've got to decide if I'm canceling the order.
Sure, probably a little later in the day. Because I just received an email about it maybe an hour ago, but I would, if you can, like maybe until early afternoon, we should know more information.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty. Very frustrating.
Right.
I mean, I'm a week, a week out of, I ordered it a week ago, and still not to know what's going on is very, very frustrating.
I would imagine it would be, so I do apologize for that, but right now we just have to wait to see if that date changes. It may or it may not. So that's why they were telling me, like, as of this moment, it is correct that it has been moved to 8/31.
Okay, and there's nothing that can be done about that?
Not right now, because we have to find out why they moved it. Sometimes they move it because like we're waiting for inventory, or like, I don't even want to speculate, but there's a reason why that date changed. So we are trying to figure out what that reason is. And I don't want to speculate because I honestly don't know.
Okay. And I guess, the initial date was the 14th for shipping, and then,
So we can stop the audio.
It shipped yesterday.
You guys have the transcript so you guys can read through it. But basically we give this lady the ring around. This could be our mom. This could be our aunt. This could be our spouse. This could be our daughter, right? Anybody of it, right? And we basically if you look at what happened, again, this is a factoid, 76% of consumers say they view customer service as a true test of how much a company values them. But if you look at what happened with this lady, she placed her order on 8/3. Original shipping date was August 14th. Original delivery estimate was 8/21. Then she gets a new ship date on 8/9. So she wanted to change the address because the laptop was for her son who was going to college. Right? So she wanted to deliver to his college based on the original delivery. Then when we changed the delivery, she wanted to move it out to change the address. Then again, she got a new ship date address 8/31. And then 9/8 was again a new delivery estimate. Page's order actually shipped on 8/12 and 8/17. This lady got the ring around, right? If you look at how many times she called us just for a simple order of getting a laptop for her son who was going to go to college. She had to call it over 8 times as a result of her changing estimates and spent an hour and 30 minutes on the phone with us. Would any of us spend an hour and 38 minutes? No. Right? This should be completely digitalized, right? Amazon, I don't have to call it. When is the last time you guys called Amazon and said, what's my order coming? Why can't we have this? Right? If we had an inventory shortage, why did we give her the original ETA? We gave her an ETA far out. Then why did we move her ETA by almost 3 weeks? We gave her the ring around. Guess what? In our shipping KPIs, we hit check. But what kind of issues, problems she went through, as I talked about yesterday, the ease of transacting with us. Why does it take her to call us 8 times to just get the order of a laptop? Why can't a call center agent do more to change the shipping address? The call center agent couldn't do that. Love the call center. She showed empathy, right? But we didn't arm her with the information as to when the dates are going to be arriving. Right? I mean, this is just one example. There are many examples like these, right? Here's another one. Again, 95% of dissatisfied customers tell others about their bad experience. I bought an LG refrigerator with French doors. Called up and apparently stopped working. Called up LG and said, hey, I looked up on Google, I looked up through your manual, and my LG and my wife's on my case, get that refrigerator fixed, right? You guys know how it is. And so I'm looking everywhere, couldn't find an answer, finally frustrated, ended up calling LG, right? Gave me the ring around and basically said, give me your credit card, we're gonna charge you $450, right? And then we'll send a technician to look at what happened. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, $450, right? The refrigerator was worth about $3,000 to $3,500 or whatever, right? So I had no choice, gave her my credit card, the repair technician shows up, and he says, oh, it's just a simple, you just need to defrost your refrigerator and that's it. And I was just blown away, right? And I'm like, why is this information not in your manual? Why is this information not on your website? He's like, well, they don't want to admit it. Guess what? I just told 100 of you how much I hate LG. LG French doors. 95% of dissatisfied customers tell us about their bad experience. Right? Here's another one to share with you. Right? Again, you have the letter on on the second page. You have this letter. This is how to create loyalty for our competition. If we want to give our business to HP and Dell, this is how you do it. Customer orders a laptop, a ThinkPad 11e or ThinkPad 13e. He receives the laptop in 10 days, but it's dead on arrival. No issues with that. Stuff happens, right? This is where it started to fall apart. Service experience took 46 days. No response to customer at all, right? It resulted in a refund, and then he gets a survey from me, tell us about your experience. He's like, I'm gonna tell him about my experience. And that's the letter that you see there, right? Now, if you, sorry. So again, why does it take, I got this letter on Wednesday last week, right before I was leaving for Shenzhen, right? This is very new. But again, we need to be revisiting our DOA policy. And again, the teams are going to go do that. They're going to look at it. But guess what? This guy will never buy Lenovo, and he'll tell all his friends and customers never to buy Lenovo, right? Because of that experience that he's had, right? It's a simple matter of communication. The fact that stuff fails, it's okay. As Gianfranco talked about yesterday, you could buy a $200,000 car, right? And things will go wrong, but you take it to the dealer, he repairs it, gives it a loaner to you, and you're satisfied. But if he tells you it's going to be 3 weeks or doesn't communicate with you at all, right? You're going to be pissed off. And this is the same thing our customers expect. Simple, communicate, right? It took us days to communicate that we had part shortage. We didn't even communicate. This guy kept calling us. So again, there are many examples, and I know you guys have all your stories in terms of what we need to be doing. So again, 95% of dissatisfied customers will tell others about their bad experience. Now, Lenovo listens. These are our own employees, and I truly believe if we want to impact customer experience, we have to enable our employees. Our employees need to have great employee experience. Now, when I looked at the 30,000 results that we got, these 3 questions were probably the most negative. As a customer of this company, I would be extremely satisfied with the quality of products and service I receive. Again, minus 19% versus the global norm. Right? This is not good. I know a lot of people right now who will not give out their employee ID and to others because they're afraid that they're going to have a bad experience. I've personally had this. My family has ordered a number of other products and they've complained about parts or whether delivery doesn't happen. They get a run around with service, and to the point, if we're not giving out our own employee ID for purchasing our own products, that's unacceptable. Right? We've got to fix this, right? So this is what our employees are telling us. Customer problems and concerns are dealt with quickly, minus 14% versus the industry norm. Senior leadership is committed to providing high quality products and services to customers. This is a reflection on all of us. Right? Now, when we talk about quality is interesting. In fact, we went out and talked to 3,000 employees and basically said, what is the definition of quality? And for them, quality means hardware defects is only 33%. Cosmetic issues, service experience, the blue screen of death, everything comes under quality, right? So that's the perception of quality. We think of quality as a hardware defect. But yet, when I look at the data, right, our products, ThinkPads, IdeaPads, ThinkCenters, Idea Center, at a historical best. We've had the best quality, guys. If you look at just the repair actions, if you look at the annualized repair rates on our products, historical best. If you look at the numbers over here, oops, sorry. This doesn't have a pointer. But if you look at the green line, right, compared to 2004, right, historic best. If you look at ThinkPad, ThinkCenter, again, our quality says we are at a historic best. Right, overall. And if I look at DCG products, Kurt showed this yesterday also, I wanted to highlight it. Again, our quality best. And you go talk to the average customer and they'll tell you that we have great quality. Our products are the best. They are the most reliable overall. But then where are we falling down? Where are we falling apart? Right? And again, in this business, perception is everything. Right? We've had a few bad cases. There are a few exceptions. The N22 Chromebook. Right? Yesterday, Tudor was here talking about Chromebook. Probably not the right question to ask. The question you should be asking is about the education industry, right? What do we think about the education industry? N22, everybody who bought an N22 is probably not going to buy a Lenovo notebook again, right? The X1 tablet, we had issues. Yoga 260, sure, there are certain products that do have, but they basically, the perception comes out that we're not good. But when I look at the data, we're at all-time high. Again, 95% of dissatisfied customers will tell others about their bad experience. Right, so the question is, do we have our priorities right? So what do we think is stopping us from being customer-centric? And these are the Lenovo listens. When we talk to all the employees, this is what we get back from all the employees. It nets it down. We try to do some analytics, and it may not be 100% accurate, but this is close enough, right? What our employees are asking us for the customer service organizations to decrease information latency, we need to be adopting a lot more self-service tools. And I know Art's got plans to go do that, right? And our services team are planning to do that. We need to be like an Amazon model, where you don't have to speak to somebody. That's where we need to go, right? Where it's much easier to do it on your phone or on your laptop, on your desktop, right? You don't have to call anybody. That's where we need to be. So they're asking for more self-service tools. KPI accountability measures, this department must establish clear relationship between their own KPIs. So if you look at roughly 40% of the comments are about tools, resources, system information, service, and support. This is what our employees are saying. 30,000 employees. And if you look at communications and data transparency, what they're saying is, again, employees are dependent on data sources. Simple things, product lead times, self-service tools, pricing tools. Across the company, they're asking for data transparency. Same thing with KPI alignments, right? How do we make sure that we're looking at our business from an end-to-end perspective, right? Today, everybody has different KPIs, and we're not working together as a team. So again, and I also sent out a survey to all our Band 10 people and above. So every Band 10 and executive, and I asked them, what is keeping you from becoming customer-centric? These are actual Band 10 ED VPs. This is what they've commented. We make decisions sometimes based on internal metrics and not with the end customer at the forefront. We value profit over customer needs. CX is a concern until we aren't shipping enough CX to make the quota, then all goes out the window. Plenty of executive management talk, but not enough real demonstrations that we are living it. Leaders do not lead by example. Meetings are still focused on business operations numbers. Even though this is important, the numbers will not improve if customer problems and complaints aren't resolved. Again, these are from all Band 10 Lenovo employees, EDs, VPs, and above, right? Lack of clear leadership and guidance. Declaring that we're customer focused does not result in transformation. Cultural transformation starts at the top and cannot be achieved overnight. We like to talk we're focusing, but we need to follow up with investments. We care about our cost more than we care about customer satisfaction. We're too siloed in our views. Again, these are Lenovo employee quotes, right? I wanted to share with you. And you have this in all the spreadsheets. And as I mentioned, probably one of the biggest challenges we have is we're still acting in silos, right? And we're not being synergistic overall. So one of the things, as part of the Know Me project, working very closely with Art's team, Brian's team, I want to establish a single source of customer truth, where everybody at Lenovo knows who the customers are. Their promoter, are their detractor, how many times have they called the service centers, how many systems they have purchased, right? Wouldn't it be nice if they have that? And if we do that, we can use that to drive revenue growth. Customer experience can drive revenue growth. We can grow our share of wallet with those customers, reduce our operational costs. To me, truly, if we can do customer experience right, we can reduce our costs, right? Customer lifetime value. Think about the $50 million that we spent on parts because we didn't have parts available. We spent $50 million replacing, getting new systems. Customer lifetime value, retention. How do we recover at-risk customers? So we truly deliver a great experience. It can drive business for us, right, overall. So I want to make sure that the finance wonks in here, right, that if we do this right, if we get a single source of customer truth, we can truly move the business forward. Now, what do we need to do to be more customer-centric? We all need to walk the walk. And the fact that we're here, we're having these discussions, all the discussions, we're doing that. But a customer-centric company, again, demonstrates empathy, right? That lady who called for her son's laptop, went to college, called us 8 times, spent an hour and 39 minutes on the phone, that does not demonstrate empathy. Yes, the customer agent was empathetic, but at the end of the day, even the customer agent, we didn't give her the information. We need to show empathy. We need to measure what matters to customers, not our internal KPIs. We need to be enthusiastic about serving our customers, right? We have a buy-in for CX across all the organizations. We want our customers who feel connected to the brand, and we need to minimize the silos. And then each and every one of you need to ask yourselves, are we doing this today? Are my teams doing that today as we go engage with customers? Last, I want to talk about culture. And I truly believe that if we want to be customer-centric, our culture has to change. Right? We got to shift our mindset from product-centric to customer-centric. Our culture has to be right. So these are some of the things that we want for our employees, right? So for individuals, character is destiny. For organizations, our destiny is our culture. That's what's going to move us, propel us forward, right? How do we deliver great customer experience and purpose of work for our employees? How do we ask our employees to master CX skills? How do we give our employees the autonomy to determine the right elements to go deliver? This is what we can do to help our employees. And then for us, all of us as leaders, right? Great leaders, we want to create more leaders, not more followers, right? We need to communicate why. Make sure that employees understand why we're transforming from product-centric to customer-centric. We need to model the desired behavior. right? We all have to be asking about the customer. Every meeting should be, put an empty chair there. And this is the chair where the customer sits. And what would our customer say, right? It can be that simple. Just modeling that behavior. Always challenge yourself and others. What is our customer's perspective? Reinforce change. Look to eliminate barriers, right? If we can't get it done, nobody's going to get it done, right? And the last one I talk about, act with a sense of speed and urgency. That's what's missing. We're doing right things. Everybody wants to do the right thing, but how do we accelerate forward with speed and urgency for not only the customers, but for the employees? If we truly give our employees a great experience, our customers are going to get a great experience. Last chart, be the change, in the words of Mahatma Gandhi. All right, that's it. That's all I want to talk about. Now the fun part starts. The real work starts. You guys have all been assigned to teams. You guys have all had your homework. You went out and talked to our employees. You went and talked to our customers. So we're going to break up into your rooms. You guys know which rooms you are through your badge. Your badge says which rooms you're going to be in. You're going to identify the top 3 issues as a team based on all the discussions you've had with employees, with customers. You're going to figure out what's the root cause analysis, what's the brainstorm some solutions, develop an execution plan, and then each of the teams will basically have roughly about 30 minutes, 20 minutes for presentation, and then 10 minutes for Q&A. And we're going to have a panel that's going to judge. So we're going to have a couple of folks who are going to be judging, and we're going to announce a winner. I know all of you guys are competitive. You're going to bring your best A game forward. So I want to close with that.
Just 1 second, please. I believe there are some questions.
Yes, please.
You do not get away without answering questions.
Love it.
I believe there's some right here.
Okay, so I just have a question. I mean, I think, since I've joined even as a server guy, I get a lot of these kind of emails as well, right?
And I get
forward them all to you.
Yeah.
But I just worry that a 30-minute web training versus if it's really this big of an issue, which I agree it is, why wouldn't, take it all upon ourselves to go and spend whatever, an hour and get every employee in the company to get the same kind of passion you just showed about the topic, right? Doing something on the web for 30 minutes versus us all passing it down over the next week and getting the interactive dialogue, I think is probably 10 times more impactful than the web training.
Happy to do that. Thank you. Other questions?
Hi, I'm just kind of curious, did anybody ever call those 2 customers back?
Yes.
Anybody in this room?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we took care of the DOA, and teams are working it, they're addressing it. Here's the thing, right? It's all exceptions to the rule. In fact, who was telling me yesterday, I think I was talking to George. Where's George? Right, George said he brought a laptop for his father, right? And your father basically got the runaround, tried to go down the Lenovo path, didn't want to embarrass his father-in-law, right? And wanted to go around and, over lunch we were talking, and he got the runaround, couldn't get any help done. And he had to approach George finally and say, I don't know what else to do. So George had to go get IT folks with the Lenovo to help his father-in-law out. That can't be how it is. We've all had our situations where our friends or employees have complained and I've escalated to the team, but that's not the model of operation. We need to fix it at grassroots. We need to fix it we need to fix our processes so these things don't happen in the first place.
Yeah, but one of the things I found in the global account space is that the people in this room are willing to sit in front of the customer when we do have a problem and listen to the customer directly. It tends to change the attitude of the entire company. Because nobody wants to sit in front of that customer again and have the same issue come up over and over again. So this is one of the recommendations I make. The more we get out in front of them and listen to the problems, not just the good stuff, but the problems, I think it'll help go a long way.
I completely agree, Paul, but what about the guy who bought it from Best Buy? What about the guy who bought it from
I
yourself?
agree. I'm
Right?
just talking about MySpace in
Yes.
particular, but it is.
Completely agree. Completely agree. Kim?
Dilip. So I would just encourage this room to not think just about problems that get reported. So research shows that people complain about 20% of the time. What they actually do, most of the time, is they just don't buy again, right? And so as we think about our action plans, we need to think about the feedback we don't get and not just respond to the feedback we get. So one of the things I've done in the past is dedicate 15 minutes a week. I made my entire leadership team just monitor calls, right? Just because you have to get the empathy, to live the experience. And what happens over a 10-week period is you have a pattern versus anecdotal, like my son this and my son that,
Yep.
right? And we're often better acting on pattern analysis than individual things. Individual things will go fix and we'll feel good about it, but we don't really get to the systemic experience that happens out there.
No, absolutely agree. I mean, the lady who called us 8 times, I bet you she probably went on our website to get the information many times. That didn't show up, right? It's the ease of doing business with us that has to be factored in, but I completely agree. Yes? Yep, every time she called us. Exactly. And in the end, the product still shipped on time, but how much agony she had to go through in the runaround that we gave her. But our shipping metric, we got a checkbox for it, right? We hit our shipping target. It didn't show up anywhere.
Dilip, I've got one anecdote that I think
Yes.
shows another issue, which is a couple of years ago when we had the NEC convertible PCs that were very, very lightweight.
Yep.
I bought a couple of them, but they were clearly niche products. The problem was that they weren't well supported. Our website didn't have driver updates. The automatic driver update software always crashed. And when Windows 10 came out, our forum basically said, oh, it's not supported. And there was a problem with one of the drivers on the touchpad, so you couldn't use it with Windows 10. Ultimately, I had to go to the PCSD tech support folks inside and say, you can't not support this. We have a contract with Microsoft that says it's too recent, you have to support it. And eventually the driver came out. But the issue is, in general, if we're going to ship these niche products, customers are going to expect support, and we have to do the trade-off. Do we want to spend the money supporting these products? Because if we don't, we're going to have terrible customer experience in those niches.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. We shouldn't even be launching those products if we don't look at it from an end-to-end perspective, right? And this is where we have silos sometimes. The business units, I know I've been in the business unit myself. We launch products, but we don't think about the back end. We don't think about services. We don't think about delivery. We need to be all thinking from an end-to-end perspective. And the segment organizations now should definitely help. But absolutely great point. Other questions? Jeff?
Dilip, I appreciate you being the pulse of the organization on this point. I know that it's not always easy to stand up in front of all of us and point out things that are our shortcomings, but I think it's critical that you do that, and I think that in your new role it's going to be essential that you kind of get under our skin to the point that we feel what I felt emotionally when I heard that lady, who could be my wife, buying a laptop for my son to go to college next year, and just being frustrated because she wants to make sure everything's okay for him to go to college, and this just isn't right. And I think that the emotion of that should be something that we all feel.
Yep.
And I think this is actually an emotional point.
Yep.
This isn't raw business, and there's clear business reasons why we do this. You pointed those out from a retention standpoint. I look at what we learned from Tencent. I mean, their loyalty enabled them to become the financial banker for 40% of people in China for mobile payments.
Exactly.
The only reason they were able to do that is because they had a loyal customer base that trusted them.
Yep.
And I think as we go forward, we have to get our minds around the fact that loyalty and retention, that is the outgrowth of a great customer experience, enables us to grow our business.
Absolutely.
It's not just we want to have this wonderful thing of pleasing our customers for the sake of pleasing our customers, which is noble, and we should want to do that. But there's actually financial long-term business benefits.
Absolutely.
And I think if some people in the organization need to know that why element that you talked about today. And as leaders, I think it's critical that we start to articulate and clarify why are we doing this and why do we think it's important. Some people can be sold on the emotional component. Some people need the financial component, but both are quite suitable and logical. So anyway, thank you for being the pulse. Thank you for pushing the conversation to the why, because I think we need more of that. It's one thing to say it, it's another thing to say why.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. In fact, I encourage everyone, go to our tech center support, listen to our call centers, right? Even as Kim said, even 15 minutes, just listening to our tech support center, going on the forums, right? If we're doing it, if our employees see that we're doing it and we're asking the questions, that behavior will come through across everyone. Madhu. Oh, sorry, why? Sorry, Madhu. Why Charles here? It's on.
Just a quick comment as you were going through this. I feel for this lady because I went through exactly the same. If somebody had taken a transcript of what I said, now, I'll argue I wasn't as nice as that lovely lady, but the company in question, and I hate to say this out loudly, but the company in question was Dyson. My point is, even though I went through much more than 1 hour, 38 minutes on this, I refused to leave. And my point is that even after 45 days of this person, Richard Drew, I think going back and talking to them and apologizing and saying we'll do everything, I think will help. All is not lost. I refused to leave Dyson despite the hell I went through on that vacuum cleaner. They shipped it wrong. It was the same experience. But I refused to leave because, to be honest, there isn't much of an alternative. Those guys are the brand leader. They are the technology leader, much like how Lenovo is. So my point is, go back, sit down with these people if you can, do what it takes to bring them back. In my opinion, a certain percentage will not leave you, will not leave the brand.
And that letter that I got, we actually have Bonnie from North American team actually following up with that customer. Right? Despite, he said, I don't want to be ever in touch with you guys again, I don't want to talk to you again, we'll still make the right effort and say we apologize, you know, and give that lady some discount, that person some discount, and we'll still follow up.
Yeah, so Dilip, your suggestion to have leaders in this room to go to the call center to listen to the customer's voice, definitely is important. But in my view, every leader listen to one customer's voice is less important than every customer's voice are heard by the right leader. So when we listen to this customer's conversation, so everybody can understand. So we need to find the root cause. Not just to comfort the customer, we need to find some root cause, then to establish the right process to fix that. But while this conversation couldn't be heard by the owner of the businesses timely until today. So do you think that that's the even important problem for us? Yeah. Who is the owner of this business? Definitely, in my view, it's Ajit, right? So this is e-commerce business. Why he couldn't hear the voice from this conversation?
And that's
so in my view, that's even more important. Every customer's complaint will be heard by one of our leaders who take responsibility for that business.
Yep.
For our call center employees, so whether they can find the right managers or leaders to fix the issue.
Yep. No, completely.
Yeah, completely. Not so. In the future, we will not have the similar complaint happening again. So that's what we should think about.
I completely agree. This is my plea to all of you, right? You know, listen to your customers, take action, call us out, call each other out where you need help, right? Customers got to be top of our priority list.
Yeah, so, but my point is, we listen to customer is important. But customer voice, every customer's complaint, their voice is heard by us. It's even more important.
Yes, completely agree. Thank you, Huawei. Any other questions, comments?
I have one more, sorry. I want to make sure that as we get into our vertical organizations that at least this room hears that there is DCG business, and I'm sure vice versa, that gets impacted by our commercial PC product. And I happen to be the executive sponsor for Applied Materials. We're trying to sell servers into their test equipment, like semiconductor test equipment. And we shipped 770 laptops to them that they ordered touchscreens, that they showed up non-touchscreens. And right when we were about to sign a $21 million contract, the senior procurement guy says, I just don't know if Lenovo believes in quality anymore. So I contacted the PC team and we solved it cross-platform, which is I think what we should do. But there's, I want to make sure we don't get so silent that we don't realize that servers will impact ThinkPads, ThinkPads will impact servers, even though we've gone to a vertical organization.
Yeah, I think in this case,
some of our procurement VPs are still cross-platform.
Yeah, I think in this case, you purchase those laptops and just say, here, take it. Right? It's a multi-million-dollar deal. Yeah, I agree.
I'll give you another example there that's the reverse. So we won a customer, new acquisition customer in August, which was a person I know who said, hey, I don't know what Lenovo's in the data center business, but I am so mad at Dell. I want to know what you guys have. So we bid and stuff, and I said, well, what happened? So Dell shipped 3 PCs to a residential address, not their business address. Those 3 PCs happened to be for 3 hedge fund traders who make them all their profit of their company. And they went to residents. So they called, he complained, said the PCs aren't here, da, da, da. So Dell says, okay, we see what happened, we'll ship them again. They shipped them again to the wrong address, different wrong address. They didn't get them, and those hedge fund traders had issues with their laptops. That company will never do business with Dell again, right? So, and they bought $660,000 worth of servers from us because of that experience. So it works both ways, but we're in a customer's mind, we're one company.
We're one Lenovo.
Right, and so we need to just be better than everybody else.
Absolutely.
Dilip, Stefan speaking. I want to make a comment on what Huawei said, because that is something I experienced a few times already. Basically, when I get a complaint from a customer, when I see it, I pass it on to the people responsible for it and say, solve it, but don't focus on the solution, focus on the root cause. And what I get back is the answer, usually with big effort, the customer's happy now, we solved the problem. We are not able to analyze the root cause of the problem. And this is something I have not seen here. You also tell us all the time, listen to the customers. But how can we analyze the root cause and solve that one? This is for me the key question. And then, why I said, then we will have more happy customers.
Yeah, I completely agree. We need to solve at a grassroots level. We need to fix the processes. And this is where customer journey mapping, Stefan, helps, right? Whether it's leveraging your CX resources that you have in EMEA, whether it's leveraging my team, how can we go help, right? So completely agree with you. We need to fix the root cause, right? So ultimately, like I said, we don't want anybody to even pick up the phone, right? It should be all automated. It should be like Amazon way in terms of how we go do business.
So let me not be the guy who beats the pinata again and again, right? So I went in front of the LEC 9 months ago, made this passionately about how we abuse our customers. I told YY how we are abusing our customers. So this particular issue, we are making a $10 billion investment to fix the supply chain to solve that problem. So to your question, Stefan, we understand why this is a problem. So with Guanwei's help, factory by factory, we are putting in available to promise for our CTO orders, so we can track every single order through our supply chain, so we can tell the customer when they're going to get the product. So these transformations are difficult. I mean, they're not easy to go fix overnight, but I think that from a company standpoint, and credit to the things that you're doing, we are fixing some of these problems. They're not easy to fix, but we are fixing it.
Yep.
And at the expense of $10 million. Okay, so I just want us to believe that this process is actually working. But we need to continue doing this. I don't think we can stop.
Yeah. Thank you, Chief. Any other questions, comments? Okay, if nothing else, let's have some fun this afternoon. Look forward to seeing the presentations. Thank you, everyone.